How's it going? Welcome back to Daily Endeavours, Saturday the 6th of September. It's a 15 seal set. As always, time codes are in the description. The golden vendors at the end of the video if you want to just skip straight to that as well. So this set, personally, I choose anything but the Patrolling Horror. It's not an awful option, it's just unreliable. With these options, they're much easier, and this one is very heavily influenced by other players. You don't actually have to kill the Patrolling Horror. If you are have damaged it and it dies in some way, even if it's from enemies, it still counts for you. But I don't like relying, because it's Imperial City. It's the Wild West. Other players from other factions can fight you, and even though yes, if they kill the boss, it still works for you. It's just they can run it away from you. You might have to wait for a boss to spawn because they've already been killed, stuff like that. Whereas you don't really need to worry about that sort of thing with any of these options here, really. Like cutting logs of wood, you don't have to worry about players killing you as you're trying to do it, stuff like that. So my advice is just skip this one here. Yeah, I would go Workshop Furnishings, Item from Guild Traders, Public Dungeon Group Event. But logs of wood's not too bad either. So I'll start with the purchasing an item from Guild Traders. You shouldn't really need to spend any more than 100 gold on this option and for the Workshop Furnishing option. I'll show you how. So firstly, with the Guild Traders, both of these options, the housing option and the structure furnishing option and the Guild Traders option, you can do this stuff in Daggerfall in Glenumbra very easily. This way shiny sub by default, and it has everything you need, except for the gold, I suppose. So firstly, just go to one of these Guild Traders here. There's 5 that you can use in this area here. Now, what you want to do is when you open up these Guild Traders, just go All Items and Search, and in the total, click at this and make sure the arrow is pointing upwards. And what this will do is it will show you the absolute cheapest item that you can buy in this guild store. So my advice is just take a gander at each of these Guild Traders here, see if there's any items you can buy for really cheap. So for example, this Monumental Glyph, it's 3 gold. Got a couple of other options here which are single digits. So you can spend a very fractional amount of gold and do this one, and it only takes you less than a minute to get here and do this. And yeah, so the traders are here, 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 and these two here. And then if you don't have access to these, if you can't find anything really cheap here, there is Guild Traders all over the place. In Vocal Guard, you've got one here. In Stonefalls, in Davon's Watch, where you start with, you got one up here. And in Vivek City, which you can travel to very easily just coming down here, there's 6 here. So yeah, you just got heaps of shit. Every city has a bunch of Guild Traders that you can access. From the Guild Traders in Glenumbra, just up the stairs across the way, you'll find the Rosier Line. This gives you all the stuff that you need in order to do the Workshop Furnishings endeavor as well. So firstly, Rosica here, Home Goods Finisher. Scroll down a little bit, look for the rough firewood stack, the rough stool or the firewood fireplace. These here all count as workshop items, so you just need to buy one of these. It costs 100 gold, and that's it. That's all the gold you need to spend, so just buy one of these. And then over here, you'll be able to get a house for free as well. So Philan de Marie, this character here, if you talk to her, she'll start a quest, and all you have to do to finish it is just keep talking. Now, you will get a free house here if you haven't got them already, and then you complete the quest and you get it. So that's all you have to do in order to get yourself a house. And in order to access the house, you go to Houses Here tab in the map category, or map section. And in collected here, the house that you own will show up. So you'll either have Mara's Kiss, Ebony Flask In Room, or you'll have Rosier Lion. So let me just quickly show you how to get some gold if you don't have any, because you need a little bit of gold for this and a little bit of gold for this. I assume most people will have some. But let me just show you a tactic I use if I don't have any gold at all, and I just want a little bit just to be able to do these endeavors easily. So this is White Gold Tower. This is a DLC dungeon, but the DLC itself is free. So let me show you what the DLC is called in a second. A DLC dungeon found in the Imperial City area. This DLC is called Imperial City. Funnily enough, it's free. So everybody has access to this here. So as soon as you enter, just go through the door here, through the tunnel, into the open section, turn right. There'll be a door here, like a menacing looking door. You go into this room. If you look to the right, there'll be some coins here on the table. Grab those coins. Coins here on this table as well. You'll see some over this side too. Come over here. Grab the coins here, and then I don't usually see any coins there. But that'll give you usually anywhere between 50 and like 80 gold-ish from a single run. And now when you leave, you go to the door at the end of the tunnel here. This will take you back to the wayshrine that you came in from. And from this wayshrine, when you go in next, the tables will have some more gold on them. So you can just repeat this process as many times as you need to get yourself a little bit of gold in order to do this. It doesn't give you much gold, but these options here, you only need like 150, 200 gold. So you only have to do that a few times. And once you've got your one workshop finishing, you don't need to worry about buying another one again. All you need is just one finishing, and this will be really easy. So now let's head to our house. So I'm just going to go to Seedling Villa here. So you click on the house in your houses tab here, and then you click on it again, left click, travel to Seedling inside, confirm. If you do this at a wayshrine, you don't have to do the whole traveling animation. It just takes you straight there, if you want to make it a bit more convenient for yourself. Alright, just a quick strat for those who don't understand how housing works. Let me show you. So, bottom right, you'll see it says housing editor there. Just hit whatever key that is. You go into the sort of editor mode. At the bottom middle, you'll see it says browse. You hit whatever the key that is. And you go into the placing menu here. So, if you go down to workshop tab here, this will have the item that you just bought as a workshop finishing. You go place it, and then place it on the floor, and as you can see, that counts in the endeavor as a workshop finishing. Now if you left click here, pick it up and put it back down, it doesn't do anything. It has to come from your inventory. Now what you can do instead, at the bottom left you can see it says undo. Hit that and it'll put it back in your inventory, which works for the endeavor, and if you hit redo, it puts it back on the floor. So that's a quick way of doing it a bunch of times, the endeavor. And now what you can do is just place this somewhere in your house conveniently, so like maybe near the door or something. You won't have much room with the free houses, but you'll have enough for a few items. So if you need to do this endeavor, you just come straight into your house, come in here, put this away, undo, redo, undo, and that'll place it twice as well. And you just leave it there, and the next time the endeavor comes up, just do that again. And yeah, there's nothing else to it. Alright, next up, cutting logs of wood. So firstly, let me bring up a UESP page that might be helpful to you. These are the 10 different types of wood that you can find as nodes in this game. The ones that spawn depend on two things. It's a 50-50 split. So firstly, your character's level, and then also the craft woodworking passive here. So scroll over this, it'll say one of the types of materials that you'll get, and the other one is your level. So in order to know that, just check your current level and check this here. So if you're over level 160, you'll always get Ruby Ash as one of the options. And in this case, I'm 10 out of 10 here, so I only get Ruby Ash. But yeah, it's good to know. For example, if you're doing this on a level 30 character, you'll get Standard Beach, because that's the character level range that you'll get Standard Beach for. And yeah, if you don't have any points into woodworking at all, you'll get Standard Maple, stuff like that. And what you can do is you can scroll over this, all these links here, and it'll show you an image of what these like the wood nodes look like. Because every single node for Maple looks like this. So once you know what that one looks like, you know what they all look like. Second, let's have a look in settings. Go to video, grass, turn this off. Some of the wood in this game blends in with the surroundings quite easily. It's like blends in the grass too, and removing the grass will make it easier to spot it, because the wood doesn't get it. The appearance does not change at all if you remove the grass. We can make it easier to find some of it. There's another one. Have that one there. And just basically just go to a wayshrine in a zone that you like going through. Just run around for a while, and you'll find some woodworking nodes. Sometimes you'll go through a section of the world and find no wood nodes. Sometimes you'll find a bunch in a straight line. It's just the weird nature of overland nodes in this game. So you can see like 2 cloth nodes there as well. Yeah, it does look a bit weird with no grass, but it makes it much easier to see stuff. Especially like maple, for example. It's just like that green color. It just blends in really well with the surroundings. Yeah, if you can do this on a character with woodworking maxed, it's much easier. Because Ruby Ash it does not blend in well with the ground. It's just like that blood red color. There's like nothing that usually sticks with it. Another one. Yeah, mostly you can find it around trees, but not always. Sometimes it's in like weird spots. Last one there. Excuse me, sir. Don't mind me. Any wood that you... Oh wow, there's 2 right there. Any wood that you find in Craglawn has a chance to give you something called Nurncrux. There's 2 types. There's fortified and potent Nurncrux. These are very valuable. They sell for quite a lot of gold, and they're used for researching, and potent Nurncrux is quite a powerful trait that's still used quite often these days. So these are only available from the nodes in Craglawn. The blacksmithing, clothing, plants, and the jewelry nodes, they also give it. But yeah, because you're looking for woodworking nodes, that's kind of the main thing. So yeah, I think worth noting there. That being said, Craglawn is usually quite busy. It's the busiest zone of the lot as far as harvesting nodes goes, so just keep that in mind. But usually, especially outside of prime time, you'll find lots of places with just teeming with resources. Craglawn is also very resource dense. It's great for looking for these types of endeavors. Also, champion points. A couple here that can be really helpful. Master Gatherer. Using this to reduce the time it takes to harvest stuff can be really good. Shortens the amount of time you're taking doing this endeavor. Plentiful harvest, especially for surveys, which I'll talk about in a second. Woodworking surveys, they're like any surveys that you do are valuable. So being able to, like, they're limited. Like you can only use them once each time. So it's good to get the most out of resources from them as you can. Also, woodworking, Keen Eye wood. If you're still struggling finding the resources here, you can use Keen Eye and it'll make them glow when you get close enough to them. So that can also help you find them if you're still learning how to like what to look for. It can be quite helpful. So the add-on that I'm using to show the woodworking nodes on the map, this is a harvest map. So every time you harvest a node in a zone, it will add like a little pin on the map for you like this. So it takes a while to get this looking like it is now. I've done Craglawn heaps of times, but this can be very helpful because if you get this endeavor, you can just find your own like little stomping ground area and come through here every now and then, like whenever these endeavors come up, and you'll know where all the spawns are. So you can just reliably find a bunch of woodworking nodes quick. Alright, so last up, let me just explain surveys real quick. Alright, so when you complete woodworking writs, you will get a chance to get woodworker surveys. These give you a guaranteed set of 6 woodworking nodes that you can use to just immediately do this endeavor, essentially. Just a caveat though, I would suggest holding on to a few of these, just surveys in general, because there are survey endeavors that come up too. It's good to just have a range check for those, because if you don't have surveys for those, you're screwed. Whereas if you don't have them for this, it just slows you down a little bit. But yeah, surveys, really good, especially since for other players, they're technically like they're instant. So if another player has a survey and they grab these here, yours will be different. So you can still grab yours even if other people grab theirs. So it's a guaranteed source of 6. Okay, option number 4 is Public Dungeon Group Events. The only one I suggest you do is Lost City and the Na-Totambu Group Event in Alikid Desert. If you'd like to know how to get here for the first time, if you don't have any wayshrines nearby, I'll have a link to the explaining how to get there easily at the end of the end of this section. So the reason I suggest Na-Totambu over anything else is because this group event respawns in, like, oh yeah, there's woodworking nodes too, I suppose you can look for those too. These spawn, the ones in Na-Totambu spawn in 30 seconds. Every other group event takes like 5 minutes to respawn. So at that point you're waiting basically as long as looking for a bloody pub patrolling horror in fucking Imperial City, and I would not rather do that. So in here, when you get inside, this is the area here that you're looking for. So run past all these guys here. Right, so once you get here, you'll probably see a lot of dead shit. Don't worry, it literally takes 30 seconds for this to respawn. So you will not be waiting long. There, spiders, again, opposite. So scarabs. Yep, and then spiders on the other sides. And then scorpions in the middle. So opposites, opposites, and then middle. So there'll be 3 enemies. You'll get the spider, the scarab, and the scorpion, believe it or not. So kill these guys, and that'll be the public dungeon group event done. And now, if you miss this, if you just get here at this time, Don't worry. Again, 30 seconds long, you're going to have to wait. It's nothing. So this is... It's a little bit of a tough fight for like if you're like a really new player. But look, comparing this to a patrolling horror, it is like night and day how much easier this is. So again, another reason I wouldn't bother with this. Alright, so, and there we go. So that's all you have to wait for. So, Scarab, and then Scarab, this one over here, Spider, and then opposite side again. So that's what I mean. Opposites, opposites, and then Scorpions in the middle. And then you'll get the enemies. And that's it. And now we can leave. Alright, so let me show you how to get here if you haven't been here before, because getting here normally, it's a long trek. Fucking just don't use the boat swings or anything. Let me show you a quick way. So go into the group and activity finder, home tours, browse homes. Go to all houses and look for something called Sword Singer's Readout. We used this the other day. So Sword Singer's Readout. Bring up all of these here. Doesn't matter which one you travel to, just any of them. Doesn't cost you anything. So what this will do is it will take you to somebody else's house. Once you get there, you leave through the front door, and this will take you to Alakir Desert. And it'll mean that you bypass most of the running around. Here we are, turn around, go out the door, and look at that, we're in Alakir Desert now. So you'll spawn in Alakir Desert in a hostile location. This is Sadakalum. This place, unless you've completed the quest line, is full of Imperial hostile troops. But they're just overland regular enemies. They're piss weak and they die in a few hits. So just come through this way, go around the palisade wall. There might be a few guys here. Just fight them or leave them. Doesn't matter. There's a wayshrine here. And then down here, it's just a little bit of a trek through here, through the road. Go down here, get this wayshrine, and then from this point, you can just easily get your way to Na-Totambu. You can just go straight there if you don't care. But yeah, I'd advise just getting this wayshrine so it'll be easier from that point. Okay, let's take a look at the Golden Vendor. So we've got Grothdar Helm, and we've got School of Retribution's Helm. So Grothdar, this set, basically, every now and then you'll just apply a lava effect around you. It's in melee range. It does pretty good damage. It's a very old set. It comes from Vaults of Madness, which is the Cold Harbor group dungeon from base game. I don't suggest buying this just on the basis that this is a base game option, so you've always got it regardless of what DLCs you own. School of Retribution is different though, because that's actually a paid DLC. But yeah, Grothdar is pretty good on melee builds, like for example, all Dragon Knights, most stamina builds, you know, using, or just, yeah, most builds in this day and age, just running in melee. It's good. It's not the best in the world, but it's easy to use, does decent damage, and yeah, I quite like this one myself. But yeah, there's just better options usually in the later stages. But you know, for a base game option for melee, it's pretty good. School of Retribution, I don't like this one much, just because it's random and the options that you get every 6 seconds really aren't that great. Minor Protection, it's an okay buff, but there's easy ways to get it, and it's not as powerful as it looks. Like, it says 5% damage reduction, but the way that the mitigation works is it's multiplicative. So the 5% after applying it to high resistances, and like, because this is something you'd probably want in a place like PvP where defensive capabilities is like much more important for every person. And in that case, like, you usually have high resistances, and minor protection, it's not giving you 5%, it's more like it's giving like 2 or 1% extra damage done reduction. So it's not as good as it looks. And then damage shields are reduced in PvP, and then healing is also, I mean, healing's good, but that much health every 2 seconds, you might as well get like Troll King and just get a bunch of health recovery at that point. I don't know. Yeah, I just don't see this being very useful. And then Bone Pirate. This is a old set, comes from Blackheart Haven. Back in the day, this was all the rage in PvP for stamina builds. Nowadays, it's not really something you need, especially with things like Eternal Vigor. The things like Wretched Vitality being a thing is really good, and stamina isn't as important as it used to be, like max stats. Weapon and spell damage, crit damage is more important now, and armor penetration, because yeah, like they buffed how much weapon and spell damage you have in Blackwood, I think, and that just kind of moved the sort of balance bar of what actually works in PvP. It's okay. Also, the reason it was so good was the best foods or consumables to use back then. There were drinks. It was Dubious Camoran Throne and Witchmother's Potent Brew, and Bone Pirate works with drinks. Nowadays, though, the best options are food, and so it's not as practical to use this. So yeah, it's another thing. Not that Dubious Throne or Brew are like bad now; they're just outperformed by other things. So that's another reason why it's kind of fallen off. Yeah, if you use Witchmother's Brew or Dubious Throne, it's good. It's just not amazing anymore like it used to be. I do actually have a Bone Pirate set still in my inventory somewhere, I think. Oh, I have it. I never have a necklace. I swear I had the Great Sword for ages, because it took me so long getting it. I just didn't want to part with it. But yeah, I guess I've gotten rid of it. Now that I guess Reconstruction's a thing, you don't need to worry about that stuff anymore. Eternal Vigor. This is okay. It gives you magic and stamina regen at high health and health regen at low health. The biggest problem, I think, with this set is that you need to run the 5-piece constantly. So in PvE, you're not really going to need this, because either support setups will give you these resources, or you use other sets to provide them to other people. In PvP, it's okay, but the biggest problem with PvP is that you have to run it on both bars. So Mythics, it's harder running in Mythics and Monsters with these kinds of sets. Eternal Vigor and things like it works well with Dragon Guard, or people liked it with Dragon Guard. I know that. Ancient Dragon Guard, this one, because it pretty much does the same thing, except weapon and spell damage at high health and physical and spell resistance at low health. Yeah, the biggest problem is that needing to slot it on both paths, because you look at things like Bone Pirate's the same. I guess that's another reason why Bone Pirate's not as good anymore, because you look at things like, for example, Wretched Vitality. You don't need to. You can slot this on one bar. Same thing with Rallying Cry. Oops. Rallying Cry. Yeah, same thing. So you apply it, and then you can swap bars, and the effect stays even if you don't have the 5-piece. So yeah, not as good anymore as it used to be. But Eternal Vigor is not terrible. It's good. Health Recovery used to be amazing, and then got nerfed, and then it's just kind of now. So that's it's interesting. Winter's Respite. This set I don't mind. It's like I like this as a entry level. Oh, sorry, yeah. Don't buy the jewelry for this stuff. By the way, this is from Western Scarab, and you can buy the jewelry for this stuff like really cheap. Not gold quality, but you don't need gold quality if you're using this stuff. Winter's Respite. This is basically just it's a entry level like healing set when you haven't done the dungeons to get all like the really good stuff. Whenever you're healing people in like a healer build, you just put a AoE on the ground that heals people. It's like an ice circle. So the only thing is, in a lot of dungeons, especially like something like Kyan's Aegis, where it's like snowing, or like maybe the Locustes fight in Sunspire, people might run away from it because they're just so used to big AoEs like that being on the ground and being avoided. But yeah, Winter's Respite, it's just a healing, it's just a heal proc basically, sort of like a bigger World of the Depths but for healing sorts of thing. But yeah, it's okay. Replace it with other stuff, but yeah, just for early game healing, it's pretty good. So long as people understand that it's not a bad AoE. And then Spider Cultists. So this is very old. This comes from... Oh, sorry, yeah. These both come from Western Skyrim, both of these. And so probably the quickest way to get it yourself would be just to do the Labyrinthian dungeon. Or the public dungeon in the Black Reach. Is it Black Reach? Is that what it's called? Yeah, so you go here and... Yeah, Black Reach. It's... Oh, yeah, sorry, hold on. I haven't got objectives on. Yeah, it's here. So, in the Truth and Cast. Yeah, get the fixture. And yeah, so Spider Cultist Ring, this comes from Fungal Grotto 1. Very easy to get. Gold quality does impact the damage a fair bit, but honestly, I would never run this in this day and age because, yes, while there are some really good skills in Destruction Staff, you know, you've got Wall of Elements is just like such a staple skill. The Destruction Staff Ultimate being so good for like big AoE burst. But one, it's got an ability that does no damage, I guess aside from Burning Shield and Concussion, but that doesn't... I don't think that gets affected by Destruction Staff damage. Impulse is like a small AoE, very small AoE, and then yeah, these two here, you got a Spam Ball and then Destruction Touch. I don't think, even with the scribing skill for Elemental Explosion, I don't think there's enough skills here to warrant wasting like an entire 5-piece just to prioritize one damage type, because there's basically an entire bar that you're going to be missing out effectiveness on. Those sets just like, yeah, they don't work really all that well. Like maybe a certain build in PvP where you just use either Storm and Impulse to hit people really hard, like front load a bunch of damage and then you're basically out of breath. But yeah, there's just so many other sets that are just not only better, but just more reliable for everything else. Like Order's Wrath, I can't see you not using that over this kind of thing. Yeah, my advice, don't bother with this, especially since Fungal Grotto 1 is such an easy dungeon to get the set for, and purple Spider Cultist probably isn't all that different anyway. Okay, so that's everything. If you have any questions for me, just give me a holler as always, but yeah, that's Endeavour's done. So thanks everyone for watching. Thanks for your support as always. I'll see you next time. Enjoy your weekend.